data, long-term data for people that are taking, so that we can figure out exactly what's it doing to the masses. The doctors and the holistic practitioners, they do what they need to do on them, and they can report their findings. It's going to be a worldwide database. I need assistance because I don't know all the languages on the land, right? I don't know all the languages, how people communicate, what this means, what that means. But I believe it's going to be something big and something major, because we need to figure out what are the long-term effects. Everybody's family members have been affected by it. Yeah.
All of those documents, everything you're saying,
Yeah.
they already know. None of this shit ain't new.
Yeah.
They've been documenting this shit since they was working on it in the laboratory. All these new diseases that's coming out in the 2000s was made in the 40s and the 50s.
Oh, yeah.
They was all used in the original chemical warfare research program. But it goes back further than that. Chemical warfare has been going on for thousands of years.
Right.
They just got the handbook out of the sutras that they seized from India. They call them the scrolls of destiny. And in there, it tells them to how to control populations by infecting them with diseases, and then it give them the formulas for the diseases. So all this shit is old. Ain't none of this shit new.
Right.
The new data is because they haven't reviewed the old data to know that it's been on file the whole time. All this shit is already on file. They already got stacks and stacks of research papers of the original creators of the diseases. From Fauci and his HIV development team, to the World Health Organization financing it, through the United Nations, who was getting the money from Switzerland.
Right.
Directly from the International Monetary Fund.
Yeah.
And they was funding it with tax dollars. Because your tax dollars don't go to your government. Your tax dollars go to the International Monetary Fund, and they spend the money how they see fit, because you're an imbecile.
Exactly. That's how they determine everything, even with our financial system. The Swiss Confederacy is the one that meets with all of the quote-unquote leaders to determine the monetary system, the Swiss franc. And we think that our money is going to, or what we think it should be going, but no. By us being a part of their system, participating, they do whatever they want to do with the money, and that's how they get away with whatever. You feel me?
So they was using the money to lend to third world countries for developmental purposes in order to enslave the country in a perpetual debt that they would never be able to pay. When they decided to call in the debt, they called the debt in the form of the labor of the people to serve as their servants to build their holdings on that particular geography that's mapped out in lines of demarcation established in the Berlin Conference. If you want to know who getting the money out of Africa and from what country they from, just look at the Berlin Conference. It tells you who's allocated what. America had one piece of land that was delegated for military purposes, and they called it Liberia. Because they declared it a continuation of the occupation of the United States, they have to populate it with somebody from the United States, or they lose their charter. So they created something called the Back to Africa movement or the Liberia movement, depending on who's telling the story.
Yep. Crazy. And the flag looks very similar to the flag they got here.
It looked more like a Puerto Rican flag.
Yeah, right.
But it's called Africa's Lone Star State. It's supposed to be a mirror state to Texas. That means that the tribes at any time can separate and overthrow Liberia just by reclaiming their portion of land back. All of these governments is just there to perform what's called administrative duties for the crown.
Yep.
Right? So they're accountants. Right? And in order for the accountants to keep the people in order and counted for, they use public servants of the crown called policy enforcers, slave patrol. They're supposed to patrol the Queen's territory or the Crown's territory, report back to the landlords the status of the local land that's under their dominion. The landlords supposed to hold the patent that tell the policy enforcer what geography of land he's patrolling. Then they mapped them out in lines of demarcations and reclassified them as cities. Every city is a citadel, right? The towns, townships, counties, and regions are organic tribal land masses that was originally controlled by a lesser chief, or a chief just was a local chief. Right? Now, when you get enough chiefs under a particular landmass who's been displaced, they can vex the grievance to the chief that's over the region. This is how we call each other to respond to the grievances of the land in order for us to go back to the great law if it's ever been usurped. It was usurped. So to talk about the culture and to deal with the legalese that come along with the invading force is to explain to our people that one of the chiefs has examined everything these motherfuckers threw at us. And now I'm telling us how to get out.
Yep.
So the chief responsibility is to say it over and over in the public domain till enough of the tribesmen hear it and demand their chiefs to act on it. We just waiting to reach critical mass. Critical mass of awareness is all that's necessary to be victorious over the enemy, because in the process of building up to that, the military has to respond to the needs of the nation, and this is what 45's been up to.
I've been listening to, and I've been posting Dr. Jan Harper Hayes. She's been giving motherfuckers that heat about what's going on. You know,
yeah, she the undisputed truth.
Oh yeah, and she been saying, "Listen up, y'all. At the end of the day, Joe Biden is only the legitimate president of the United States corporation, which is now bankrupt and defunct." She went on GBN and said that it took over 650 planes to pull all the gold out of the Vatican, and said it is over, it's finished. You see what I mean? They putting him and his crew, they got mugshots, but that shit don't matter, because at the end of the day, we know that y'all's system is crumbling. There's no other way around that. No other way.
Did I tell you they went in Switzerland too? We sent Interpol in Switzerland. And they arrested all of the royal families that was in hiding, that was behind the dirt. And some of them motherfuckers look just like that motherfucker from Django. The one Samuel L. Jackson was playing.
Wow. Oh, I'm sure.
That's them.
I'm sure.
Them the ones, them.
We would have never figured it out. You know what I mean?
All you had to do, follow the money.
Yep, follow the money. And people didn't understand that, right? Like, I'm telling people, I'm breaking it down. Even they put it in all the occult paintings, even at up in the upper room. That's up in the upper room knowledge, with the Switzerland woman controlling our women, right? Through a Trojan horse, which is the television, which is the media, which is the legalese, which is the 2D instruments. It's been the dirty Moors the entire time. It's been them the entire time. Same thing that you've been saying. Why Noble Drew Ali went in and infiltrated the Moorish Zionists. They were the ones that was holding
us in hostage, and only they knew what they was doing, because they was keeping it secret from us. Right. And that's why he said I had to put their secrets in the public domain.
Right.
Once he did that, all of the chiefs got a piece of their secrets and told the story from a different angle, and then one of the other chiefs come through and have to put all the pieces together. So I put all the pieces together, told the story.
Yep. Yep.
They all tell it, but we don't know how to, the symbolism speak louder than the words.
Mm-hmm.
They say Elijah Muhammad don't teach Islam like they do in the Middle East. Motherfucker, he ain't from the Middle East.
Right.
He ain't supposed to teach us how to live like an Arab.
Right.
He supposed to say, hey, I see in this book something I can use I can use to uplift my people to a higher consciousness. But I got to teach it my way.
Yep.
That's our culture. Once you know that that's part of our culture and that's how we teach, then you will understand why Yahweh ben Yahweh splintered off and established Hebrew Israelites. Then you will understand what Clarence 13X was doing with the nation of gods and earths. Right? Elijah Muhammad was a high master teacher. And he taught masters who paid attention as students how to reach mastery of self. And this is more important than anything that people see because they not paying attention to the product, tell the tree bark or the fruit it bear. Many good men have came out of the Nation of Islam. And we also know that the Nation of Islam was infiltrated by the enemy.
Yep.
And we also know that if the Nation of Islam was infiltrated by the enemy, they can't be pale-faced.
Right. Exactly. Because I haven't seen one, excuse me, forgive me, but I haven't seen one Nation of Islam European brother. I haven't.
Now
I'm gonna be honest.
I know some Europeans who follow Farrakhan, the Nation of Islam teachings and live by them, but they're not members.
Yeah.
Right? Because they're not allowed to be a member. But see, Elijah Muhammad was smarter than the average bear. If the enemy look like us and they telling us he got a pale face, how can I prove to a chief in the future that the enemy don't got a pale face? I start an organization and I block the pale face out and call him the devil. But watch my organization. Right? So they call themselves in the Black Muslim Mafia. They don't operate and follow the orders of Elijah Muhammad. They got their own splinter group. But they all go to the mosque and pretend to be FOI. We know they shot Puddin, Clarence 13X. We know niggas shot him.
Right.
We know for a fact some niggas shot Malcolm. We know this.
Yep. Yep.
Right? And they no secret. And if you look at the dynamic, the only reason why a pale face was used for Martin is because the niggas sold him out and got caught.
Right.
I mean figuratively got caught. I mean, literally got caught, and not one of them was charged with conspiracy for the murder of Martin Luther King. Now, for those who's listening to this, the reference is the King family sues the federal government for assassination of Martin Luther King. Also, a follow-up or a discussion was given about it from Dick Gregory. Right? But the King family won the lawsuit. Implicated as conspirators was every one of them motherfuckers standing next to Martin when he got shot.
Wow. Yep.
Go look it up. Some niggas was behind it the whole time.
Yeah.
So now, what do that mean for Paleface? What they doing? Right? Because they told us Paleface had us in slavery. And in the end, we supposed to be so mad at Paleface for our suffering that we just slaughter Paleface like insanity. Right? And if we look at the study of Helter Skelter, Charles Manson, and we look at the study of Joseph Senku, Both of them was trained by the federal government that's owned by the Moorish Zionist Temple. The federal government is owned by the Royal Moroccan Company, a holding of the London Royal House. Them people that was living there was just that, living there. Right? Okay, now they assassinate Martin. Malcolm come out and it looked like he beefing with Elijah, but you ain't paying attention to the story. Because whatever Elijah called Malcolm to Arizona to do, Wharf Dean refused to do it. He needed somebody to run the red herring. And sending him the stuff the whole time. Ain't all of these new people that's coming in that's getting wealthy by reproducing the works of this man, right? They not doing nothing for him. But every time all I did was say he should have been out and read his release orders into the public domain and got attacked from so many different angles. I don't know who these people is. And then how you gonna work with somebody when you don't know where the infiltrators is, because that's not your camp. Malachi know who all of them is by name, birth date, tribal position. He know them all. He just ain't gonna say nothing right now because he want to see who's paying attention when the masters is speaking. Are you really listening, or are you going along to get along? Are you trying to trade your slave master and get you a chief so you could be his slave? Don't none of the chiefs want you for a slave. I'm going to tell you that now. We don't like ass kissers because we ain't kissing no ass. We don't want you to do no ass kissing to us because we not finna kiss nobody's ass. That's just the rule. Yep, Mumia Abu Jamal. Look, that was our code. The police killed his partner and whopped Mumia upside the head with that stick. And that's why the other cops say when they pulled up, he was sitting there delirious. He ain't know what was going on, and he was sitting on the curb. The other cop killed his partner. Dirty cops. You know, they don't want you to know that, though. And he used Mumia as the fall guy. That's that New Jersey knockoff, them Canadian geese. That's the side of Shakur, T-neck flip off New Jersey on a Black Girl Magic. I'm ready to come home. Wrap this stuff up. I'm working on the Sada.
I'm working on it. This Malachi thing is heartbreaking though. For somebody to put that much work in to wake their people up, and the ones that they love the most betray them. That's painful to watch. It's painful to observe, and it's painful to review for the people to know what's going on the land. Like that's hurtful. Anybody that care about the suffering of others looking at this would be disgusted, ready to puke. It's a whole lot of them we infiltrated. We infiltrated. Look, I'm growth and development. I'm under Larry Hoover. I'm trying to give aid and assistance to a fellow comrade in the struggle, Malachi York, and I don't know what that's wild. Yeah, Rashad, he part of the program. See, this why I keep telling y'all, watch the chain reaction. Cause what's gonna get Rashad out is when the setup come out. How they played that setup to sacrifice him for somebody else to have a music career. And like, we not gonna see this. Right? And so remember this, self-sacrifice is the highest form of sacrifice. In order to do the most good, sometimes you got to endure the most suffering. No, there's not two of me. It's just one of me. But I'll be moving like a team, so people be thinking there's more than one of me, but it's just me. I just be moving like that. And it's the reason why I be trying to avoid public functions as much as possible, because I'm watching how this system moves. Right? And what we seeing going on, wow. As you talking about, Bobby, you talking about his son that turned out not to be his? You talking about that baby mama? And the brother said I seen his baby mama get a GoFundMe for $100K. I know that ain't 100 million K. It gotta be 100K. Yeah, that's amazing. Wow. Hey, take me a picture and send it to me on my inbox. That's a receipt. Look, these people is sacrificing people. Using the alchemical law of equivalent exchange, they was using righteous people to sacrifice in order for wicked people to reap the rewards of their wickedness at the expense of the suffering of the righteous. Y'all gotta remember that. But watch the chain reaction. Diddy ain't going down. He's finna expose something. In the chain reaction, one of the people that is going to be exposed gonna blow y'all mind. Because we didn't had words. And the sacrifice had to be repeated to find out if it was valid. And show as poop stank. They turned around and tried the same MO. And it didn't work. It didn't work. And the soldier, Big Mama sent in there, her celebrity mirrors WWE Jade Cargill. When you watch her, you see how the girl moving on the spiritual realm. Then you will see why the moves is being made. But you got to put the pieces together from there. I can't tell you everything. But I can give you a clue to let you follow a lead. and give you the opportunity to see what I see. And once you begin to see what I see, you will realize that the separation is not even 6 degrees, more like 3. Because somebody was a procurer and they stole the wrong person's name and they got put on blast on the halls of shame. Now, I'm surprised that this magazine cover story ain't blowed up yet. But remember, everybody that claim to be a reporter is not a reporter. Some people use press passes in order to get access to celebrities in order to do human trafficking. Yep. That baby, that Carter girl. They say that's Tupac's daughter that they kidnapped when she was young in order to traffic her. I don't know if it's true, but yeah, her name Ali Carter, I think. But that's the kind of stuff they do to the chosen heirs. If they know you're a chosen heir, go, if you want to know about Hove, go get that 444 album and listen to it. He telling you something, right? He telling you where the keys at. He telling you 444 mean the angel on the post, right? He telling you something. Yeah. That's heartbreaking what that girl been through, but she ain't lying. Everything she said. Oh, well, it wasn't an official COINTELPRO operation. It was a sacrificial industry operation, but it was created years ago, the template by COINTELPRO on the sacrificing of the artists for the other artists. If you want to see, all you got to do is watch how the industry works. They always sacrifice one artist before they inflate another one up in their place. And that's so that they can't outsell the new artists. They also got something that they call shelving, where they take a guy like Rakim or Black Thought and then sign him, and then they'll never let him make an album, but then they'll go put out somebody else that don't have half of the talent or skill set. And then they will put the promotional machine behind them so that you would think that this is the best that hip-hop have to offer. No. Brother J, go listen to Brother J. He's telling you your African root science in song and lyric. Go listen to Rakim. He's telling you the 5% perceptive analysis so you can get their tribe's understanding of the lingo. Go listen to Black Thought, that son of Philly, right? He ain't no average spitter. When you listen to these guys, you got to know that they also code flipping. Hip hop is old tribal code flipping. If you go to YouTube, type in Gopher Indians underdog, and you're going to see how they made mockery of the rappers, where they had a little Indian on underdog. He's supposed to be rapping, but he's talking about Igadaka Boogadaka Dika Boo. Gibberish. Mumble rap. As it was in the beginning, it always comes back full circle. One thing about them tables, they don't stop turning. And my mama say, turnabout is fair play. If they done it to you first, you got the right to do it back to them. Except you can't start no war. Right? You got artists all over the country with skills, and they promote trash. The artists came out and told us about the industry meeting in 91 when they said they'd take control of the music industry, the rap, and steer what the people is digesting as the music on the drum beat. So they using the music to turn us against ourselves. So what happened? The evolution of rap happened. The rappers started mumbling. Why did they start mumbling? Because the industry is controlling the narrative, so they can't really give the report they want to give on what's going on in the hood. So they so know to conceal it in mumbles. They even got cartoons about us mumbling. They made cartoons about us mumbling, but they making fun of us, but we think that they just punning us. No big pun intended. Spitting bars. Right? So you got that Puerto Rican prince up there with that rapid fire verbals. And then all of a sudden he just dropped dead. Come on, man. Biggie, a rap phenomenon. Sad affair. But when you look at the controlling hands behind the scenes, no. They similar but different. Rosicrucians and the Templars is different. Templars became known as Vikings, and over here we call them Hell's Angels. Nomads on the land that was given the jurisdiction authority by Big Mama to roam as nomads when they was riding horses. Now they ride steel horses. And when the tribes give the call, you're going to hear these motorcycles rumbling across the land. They coming. They already in treaties with vice lords, with stones, with crips, with bloods. Somebody had to be wise enough to stop the bloodshed, because we was being used to fight against each other. You got to go back to the 70s. You got to go study who was the Weather Underground. Right? We don't know this stuff. If you don't know who the Weather Underground is, then you won't even know about the Black Liberation Army. Then you won't ever even understand what Joseph SikApe was doing. Then it's going to really confuse you that Charles Manson never told nobody to kill nobody, but they all pinned it on him because he didn't want to start a race war. Right? They've been using us against each other, and the whole time they look like us and they ain't us. That's sad. And only the ones with pale faces that hold key positions in government get to see the real dirty players. And they all get shocked when they get there. They all be surprised. They never thought that the leaders of these secret societies was some crispy, dark, nappy-head, red-eyed Negroes. And when they looking at them, they saying they look like they don't even have a soul. Bobby Hemmett called them human artificial. Then go back to what Bobby Hemmett said. He said, they was here long before that cracker. They was here long before that cracker. They came in with original creation. Right? Look. Charles Manson, Joseph SikApe, was trained by the best friend of Jim Jones, who was a CIA MK Ultra trainer, handler. He went into San Quentin in the early 60s. Both Joseph SikApe was trained by him and Charles Manson. He told Charles Manson how to use LSD and mushrooms in order to use it as a controlling mechanism by influencing the perception of the youth who's taking these substances. Whereas Joseph SikApe was trained in military operations and military control tactics, right? So they using two different MK Ultra methods of control. That's so that they can appear to be trained by two different people, but the same person knew both of them. The original writer of MK Ultra Mind Control was a guy named Dr. Estabrooks. Estabrooks developed a hypnotic technique where one person can be implanted with a message for another person and never know he delivered the message or that he had the message, and the other person say a key word, get the message, say another key word, and the other person don't know he gave it to him. Right? All that's MK Ultra. So they tasked Charles Manson with starting or forming a middle-class urban Caucasian community to rage in this race war against Joseph Sinkyu, who they wanted to go out and recruit estranged members of the Panthers and other teenage and college age brothers who was disenfranchised with the system, and they were supposed to meet in California and LA and fight out between Manson's group and Sinkyu's group. They rose up a couple years apart because Manson got out of prison first. And Manson started telling his followers what the government was planning. He was the first leak. He was the first leak in the government scheme to use the people to fabricate this race war called Helter Skelter. And he was telling them how they was going to use the fluoride to poison the water. He was giving them the whole MK Ultra rundown of the control measures that they would be using to call the masses. And they wanted to foment this race war so that they can come in and resolve the matter. Once they come in and resolve the matter, then they got the pale face and the red face or brown face in their service like they did in the Civil War. It's just a repeat, right? And so when they realized that Charles Manson became a liability, he went rogue. That's right. When he became a liability, the CIA said, we got to deal with him. So they sent this brother who was a FBI agent, not a brother like Brownskin, this dude named Tex. And if you go back and you read the original police reports, all of the girls said, Tex said Charlie wanted us to kill the La Bianca and the Tates. Charlie never told us, right? And both murders, the second murder, they said Charles Manson came, but he didn't stay. But that's because he was never there. He was still out at what they called the People's Ranch, where he was teaching these middle-class runaways and refugees about the inner workings of this corrupt system and the things that he had learned from his coach in MK Ultra, because he thought he had Manson under his total control. He was freely giving him information that he wouldn't have otherwise been privy to. He wouldn't have gave it. Now, the pictures, they always show him in the picture with the teacher, the coach, the one who trained Sinkyu and the one who trained Manson. It's the same guy. He's in a picture with Jim Jones. But if you look in the caption, everybody in the picture named except him. It's 6 people in the picture, 5 people named. It's 3 people in the picture, 2 people named. They never give his name in none of the captions of the picture because he was a MK Ultra government operative and handler designed to go out and recruit what they called the generals to foment the race war. And this is why Charles Manson kept saying they're trying to start a race war. And then the news media said Charles Manson said he came to start a race war. And they lied on him. they land on, they showing what he's saying, and then they telling us what to believe from what he said. And the general public fell for it, and the jury convicted him, and he ain't never told nobody to kill nothing. As a matter of fact, he used to tell them that they need to be one with nature if they wanted to escape this thing that was coming. And if they don't tune in to nature, they will not be able to find an escape. And now all of a sudden he's a serial killer. They just blew SikApe up because they couldn't trust him in the joint because he was too good at what he did. And they didn't want no brother like that teaching brothers in the penitentiary how to be that effective. And if he could send 5 of them out to be as effective as him, he could have took over the whole West Coast. So they just went on and blew him on up. Blowed him all the way off the map. Patty Hearst just got lucky and escaped from the raft, right? But she went to prison. Jimmy Carter gave her a pardon because they came in and exposed the connection to MK Ultra, and then they started saying that Joseph SikApe used mind control on Patty Hearst. You damn right he did. He learned it from your government officials in your military, in your operations, your MK Ultra. That's why he showed mind control her, right? That's why she was able to get a pardon, because they call that in law irresistible impulse, the inability to conform your conduct to the requirements of the law due to external circumstances or situations. She's exempt under the law from criminal activity when it's under duress. It's the same as if the government create a crime and they recruit you to be partners in the crime with them. They can't do that. That's entrapment. Every one of these leaders we talking about, whether it's Angel Bay, whether it's Larry Hoover, whether it's Malachi York, they all in there from government conspiracies. The government created the circumstance in order to remove them from being good leaders to the people. And as long as we don't realize what's going on, they continue to do it. But the more of us become aware of the function of the situation, what are they doing? Why are they moving like that? Why they keep running this Joe Biden fiasco in front of us as if we don't know that this character that they running is not Joe Biden? And fact checkers said that Joe Biden's grave is not Joe Biden's grave, and we made it up. When you can go onto the website, Arlington Cemetery, and pull it up yourself. And the fact checker said it's false. Come on now. I screenshotted the video while I went to the site, Arlington Cemetery site, and pulled up his obituary. They told us the story, and then they told us the cover story. They called him Homicide Joe. No, Genocide Joe. That's what they call him. They say he Genocide Joe, and he was put to death for crimes against humanity. But the cover story gonna be different. It's told you the whole cover story. This is gonna be a different cover story. But who is this character masquerading as Joe Biden? Now, well, they got different characters. It's not the same one all the time. Sometimes it's some dude named Arthur something. Another time it's Jim Carrey. You know when it's Jim Carrey because he do the thing that he used to do on Mask. And then you got the other one where he give you this powerful coherent speech. That's James Woods. They all play a different part of the Joe Biden narrative. And if we don't see this stuff going on in front of our face, it got to be at least 5. It got to be at least 5. Because I done seen different heights of, Arthur Roberts. And I done seen different heights for Joe Biden. So when he be standing against certain people at different times, he not always the same height. It's so many differences. So the one with the ear attached, the one with the ear detached. Yep, James Woods too. They use James Woods when they want to give a coherent speech, because he can throw his voice and sound similar enough to Biden where they can adjust it with the optics from the computer, so it'll sound like it's Joe Biden. Yep. Then you got about 4 different chins. Yep, the left-handed one, the right-handed. Everybody's seeing it, but we ain't saying nothing. We all know it's a whole storyline playing out. We see it. We see it. It's too many of us that see it. I think George Clooney is too heavy in the face and the neck to play the character. But it's possible because they use the green screen and the CGI in order to doctor the film. Yeah, look, at some point when we realize that we really is actively reclaiming the land, reclaiming the country from this illegal fiction, you got to realize that the United States is a corporation like Halliburton. You got to realize that the same way that Bush and Cheney set Halliburton up to run Iraq and Afghanistan is the same way the Crown of England and the Vatican set up America to run the same way an interim government. The interim government is not your government. That's why the police got firearms, because we in a police state. They tell you that we in something called a democratic republic. That's an oxymoron in and of itself, right? I think Dana Carvey too short, but if he's seated, he could get away with it because he is a master of disguise, as they say. But all these different things, well, I ain't so sure about Gucci Mane. I didn't even look into that when I was seeing it deep enough to know, but I do know that some of them tattoos ain't lining up. Well, look, so when you look at it, how do you spell it again? E-M?
E-M-A-R-U. It's like Amaru, but instead of it being starting with the A, it's with the E.
Right, yeah, because remember, the E flipped the M, you got another M, A-R-U. Mm-hmm. A-R means fire. Remember, the U is the C on his side off the crypt flip.
Right.
But C means C-S-E-E when you looking with the eyes.
Say that one more time for the people real quick.
The letter C means S-E-E when you see with the eyes on the flip. Now watch the flip. The 2 M's, we already flipped 3 M's on the last callers. We was at Michigan, Minnesota, and Mississippi. Mm-hmm. Right? Now we got Maine and Missouri. We went from a 3M flip to a 5M flip, out the Midwest to the far West. On a cultural flip, on a name knock, off of a hair flip, off 2 streaks, a red and a blue.
Okay.
Right? Because you got 2 streaks in your hair. You got a red streak and a blue streak. Mm-hmm. That's called a hair flip. Currently, your hair look like they in cornrows.
Yeah, I have locks, but I got them braided. Yeah.
Right. So now you look, the locks is in the corn roll. The corn is the festive ceremony of the first harvest.
Okay.
Right. So in the middle of the summer, when they barbecue, we used to have corn festivals. This is a Southwest phenomenon that they practice, and now they just make different meals of salsa, different types of salsa with corn in it.
Yeah, and that's crazy that you said that, because I'll eat salsa with the tortilla. I was looking at the color synchronization because I remember I told you in my I messaged you and I told you that blue and yellow is like the most consistent colorway pattern. And so first things, how it came to me in this lifetime was, because like I said before, I have family from the west side and the south side, but mainly from the south side and moved to the west.
Mm-hmm.
So my my grandpa Roscoe had moved to Berkeley. And so that's why I added the Cal Bears and stuff, because he put us on to Cal Berkeley.
Right.
So
Okay, now let's finish with your name. So the two M's represent two states. One red, one blue. One Democrat, one Republican.
mm-hmm.
Right? And in these two states are each one wing of a single bird. Just so happen this single bird can only be the bald eagle because that's the bird of the nation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now pay attention. Okay, so from the two states, Maine and Missouri, we got the black states in the middle, right? When do the states be black?
You said when are the states black?
Yeah, in the voting polls.
Uh,
Those are the votes they don't count.
Oh, okay.
Right? So the rest of the states' votes not counted, only the two states matter, red and one blue.
Okay.
Okay, now in Chicago, 44 red is Chief Malik Angel Bay. The bishop flipped from the Midwest to the far west, name was T. Rogers. T. Rogers becomes the bishop on the square. Red House, aid and assist the righteous brother in the righteous endeavor to reorganize the Red House for the aid and assistance of Big Tookie.
Okay.
Okay. So T. Rogers come to inform the Red House that in the Midwest, we see the same enemy, but we don't see him the same way. Let me show you what we see while you adapt your culture to adjust to the war. Okay. Now, when they take Big Tookie out of the circulation, then they can start trying to put wedges between the youth. Right? So you got Peace Stone Bloods now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So 44 red, Angel Bay, 44 blue is Big Tookie. Right? Tookie is the crooked man, right? King Blue. Peace Stone the Rook, right? That's Angel Bay, the lawman. And the spokesman is Larry Hoover.
Right. Free him.
The chief between the two. Right? Because we always have to have a witness when we putting in work. And the witness to Larry is Angel Bay, and the witness to Angel Bay is Larry.
Right.
Right? And the witness to Tookie got killed, Raymond Washington. But he got his angel wings. Now we knocking from New York off of a El Haj Malik El Shabazz or a Malcolm X flip on chickens coming home to roost to make sure that all clans across the land is involved. Now that's the fire in the middle.
Right.
Right? And the end, the C that you see, is a sea of red, but it's all surrounded by blue.
Right.
Right? And that's the Bloods between the Crips and the G's, rocking with the Peace Stones, because they got to back up the lawman to restore the law on the land. So when Farrakhan come out and say that y'all gangbangers need to stop gangbanging because y'all gonna be the army of the righteous, how in the fuck is that possible? Well, the enemy was training them in boot camp. Big Mama was training us in the concrete jungle. Right? Only the strong survive.
Right.
Right? And so we came up and found strategies around it all. Okay, this what brings us back to the name, Amaru, which flipped Tupac on your shirt, that's tops, but the dragon is on your shorts, that's bottoms. T-shirts and blue jeans, tops and bottoms, red and blue. Right? So when we flip the two, Tupac then rise as the dragon. Holy shit, that nigga say he coming. Oh shit.
And that's how we all
Oh
coming.
shit.
Right.
Man, don't you know that's going to look when if he pop out right now, man, that would shock the fuck out the world.
Man, I feel it. I'm heating up. Like I'm my bad. I'm just overwhelmed with happiness because it's like when I'm not when I'm not like listening. Well, I mean, I'm always listening to you. I'm an avid student of Rod Hayes, but it's just I just gotta say it's. I'm so happy to hear this because it's like I'm just
feel it in your bones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but continue. My bad.
So right. So we actually flipping code, translating it in real time for people to see it.
Right.
Right. And you got a lot of people that they can't flip code in real time. They got to go write that shit down and try to work out the problem like you doing the math problem. Right. But I know what all this shit means so good because I know my people.
Right.
Right. So when I start seeing this shit,
that's what Chief's got to do. I am it's crazy because not to be off subject, but it's connecting with what you're saying. I'm like my grandma's the oldest, my uncle's the oldest, and it's like I'm like a just about like a mirror of my uncle. Like he's a barber, but like he's you know how barbers are. Barbers are like your natural psychologist or like a psychologist pretty much. And people come to him. It's literally like looking into a mirror. And so it's
my brother a barber. He got a barbershop in the basement right here.
Okay.
Now my mama is a hairdresser. My daughter is a hairdresser. All this is relevant because we on a hair flip.
Yeah, my mom is too.
Okay, now in our culture, this is a reminder for everybody listening. The hair place was always the place where we went and got the skinny on what's going on in the town.
That explains the gossip and the talk when they sit.
Every neighborhood had a barbershop where the men of the neighborhood congregated to groom and discuss the issues of the community.
And that's exactly what, man.
The mothers, one of these women in the church, do hair at her house where everybody in the church come get their problem solved by a big mama while they got their hair done. Some of the men were so supportive of that, they built whole hair salons in their basement or on their back porch for their wife to do hair. Why she don't get a shop? It's not personal enough. It's too mechanical.
Right.
Which goes back to how they take the artists that's coming with the new product. It's all it is the cookie cutter molded control they have, right? Now, the rappers have been telling that shit the whole time. And they responding to the rapping and tapping of the spirit knocking of the early 1900s. Right? Because if you remember, when we first started rapping, we started off in school beating on the tables, rapping and tapping. Right? Now, rapping has never been new to us.
Yeah.
Right? In early rock and roll, Chuck Berry got bars.
Yeah, Muhammad Ali and
Right? I'm talking about in a song.
Yeah.
He got one called Monkey Business. A friend trying to get me up a tree, go and try it. You can buy it. I can pay you next week. Too much of monkey business. Too much of monkey business. But he rapping.
Right.
He ain't the only one. You can go into bluegrass country music. The devil that went down to Georgia. That's an old rap song. Rapping as an art form originated in New Orleans. It was a jive talk.
Yeah, and that was
everybody that used to go to New Orleans. You used to first go to Basin Street to get cleaned up for the nightlife on Bourbon Street. Right? You start off with the barber. He tell you who got the best cologne. If he don't got it, he tell you who got the best cuts of clothes. If you're from out of town, he tell you who you need to hook up with.
They help network people together.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, when you get done going from one end of Basin Street, you're gonna be totally jazzed out for the night. Right? You ready for the New Orleans nightlight, red light district or blue light district? It really don't matter. Right? So they would go to each district in order to meet the needs of the people that fall on certain categories. So you know that if you ain't from the right category, you don't get caught in the red light district. You get caught in the blue light district, you good.
Right.
Right? You learn all that. So when you get done going down Basin Street, you had all of the rules of the local town. You know who not to fuck with. You know who you can fuck with. You know who you gotta look. If you see so-and-so, you know, give an old lady something, right? They tell you who that big mama is, how they look out for, right? By the time you get there, now you're going down Bourbon Street for the nightlife. In the nightlife, you costumed out. Shit. This is, you know, at one point in time, it was Mardi Gras every goddamn Friday and Saturday night, right? Because you come in from the fields, unwind on Friday, you go down Bourbon Street, you come back up, down Basin Street, come back up Bourbon Street. Now it's time to go get you a room and take a nap. Because you don't got church till Sunday, so you got Saturday to lollygag around town all day and hit motherfucking Bourbon Street again, get sloppy drunk, pissy drunk, whatever you're going to do, go on back to the room, then get up and go to church. And from there you go back to Big Mama house and do you.
Right.
So they don't want the artists to come up with new art forms because they can't mechanize it, right? If they want every great guitar player to sound like Jimi Hendrix. Right? No, that's not how you be great. I think the great guitar player is the one who don't sound like nobody else but itself.
Exactly. And that's what they were trying to tell me. They were all like, oh, you need to sound like, I'm like, nah, bruh. Because what's the point? And it's like the advice that they were giving me, I'm like, I know they were telling me that they were giving me advice that didn't work. And I'm like, I already know your artists or whatever that you signed or whatever didn't even do that. So why the fuck are you telling me the wrong advice? Like yeah, but it's like everything is so commercialized. Like I'm glad I didn't get everything that
them being the Matrix agent, keeping your ego character that they helped you create in check.
Yeah.
So you don't that's what they call it, breaking the mold. You heard